Now in this session, what we will actually do is we are actually creating other tables as well in the employee, let's say HR schema. Let's say this is my project where I am creating the physical data model, right? I'm creating the tables, I'm giving the data types and everything. So what we'll do, there are various tables which we have to create, right? So we have regions table, we have a countries table, we'll create a location table, then we'll create a department table, a jobs table, employees table, right? Some of the tables we'll create, job history tables. So 5, 6 tables we'll create, and what we will do the reverse engineering. We'll try to understand, okay, tables are created, but how the data model will look like, right? Then we'll start creating a drawing of the data model, so that we'll have an understanding that once we are creating a table, how the data model will be. So let's create other tables as well, and during the creation of that table we will talk about another two constraints as well. One is not null constraint, which we had a discussion briefly on the last class, and we'll talk about the uh, unique constraint, right? So we'll talk about that as well. So as of now, we have these two tables ready, and now we have to create rest of the tables. I'll quickly create it, right? We'll not spend much time out here. And in the commands, when you think that you are facing some challenges understanding that, please let me know. So I'm creating a table, and I'm giving the name as locations. And here I'm having location ID, and obviously I have to give the data type. So let's give number. If you want, we can restrict the numbers with 4, not null, right? So I'm saying that it is a not null column. I cannot insert null value. Null value means I cannot make that as empty. There should be something inside there. Then I want to make this as a primary constraint, right? So let's say if I'll write, all right, so not null, and then let's try to have the constraint. And here let's give the constraint name, right? Loc id pk. If you see here, we created the constraint like this. So this is my constraint, and you see in the last session we created by comma, right? So if you want, we can add comma as well, but as we are giving not null, then we can give directly the value like primary key. Let's see without comma is this going to work or not. So what I'm doing is creating a location id number 4, not null, then constraint. If you see here also, constraint name not null, and constraint name primary key in a separate by a comma. Okay, because I'm using 2 times this keyword, because I'm giving the name, right? Constraint name. Now here for not null, I'm not giving any constraint name, I'm just giving the not null without writing constraint. This type of way also we can go for. So if you want, we can give like constraint not null, and we can give some name as well, like loc underscore nn something. We can do like this, but then we will have to put comma and then primary key constraint separately. So here what we are doing, we are not giving this any name as a constant. We'll see that what will happen in the system table, right? How it will look like, we'll see that. So location id number 4, not null, primary key is my constraint, and then we'll have the street address varchar 2. Let's give the size as 100, right? Let's say let's go with 40. Then we will have the postal code. So we'll have the postal code varchar. Now postal code normally has a number, but I'm giving it as a string, right? So varchar 2, I'm giving that as 12, because each country, some country may have the characters as well in the postal code, not sure. So be on the safer side, let's go with the character values, varchar values. City, and city will be varchar 2, and here I'll have 30. Then again we have now what one more thing I want to do is I want to make a constraint that this column city cannot be null, right? I should have the name. it's altogether a new column which is city, and I want it to be not null. And here I'm creating LOC underscore city underscore NN as my constraint, right? So this is my constraint, and this will be not null. All right, so I'm giving this as a not null column. After that, we have state underscore province, and this is where char 2 giving the size as let's say 25, comma, we have country ID. Now country ID, if you guys remember, we created the primary key out here as a country ID, which is coming from countries table, and here I'm taking that as one of the columns, and obviously it's a char2. I'm saving it as char2 here, and I want this as a foreign key, right? So the values when it present in this table, that values only I will able to insert in this table, right? So that is what the purpose of foreign key is. And if I want to delete something in this table, you have to first delete from the locations table, because location table is a child, and if any value is present, and if you are trying to delete that value from the parent, it will throw me an error. So country ID char, and we'll have constraint LOC underscore C underscore ID underscore FK, right? This is the name I'm giving, foreign key, and the foreign key is country ID and should be in a bracket. References countries. What's the table name? Let's check that. So it's countries, so COUNTRES, countries, country ID. Okay, and I'll close the bracket. So this is the entire syntax which we have. Now if you want, you can make it in a single line so that everything will be clear. So you see now I made 2 commas out here, so it will throw me an error, absolutely. So that comma is not required. We'll have 1 comma here, sorry, 1 comma here, then again this comma. So we'll try to make it in a way that it will be readable, right? It was not readable earlier, so let's make it comma, 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 and this comma is actually not required, and we'll remove this comma, we'll remove this comma, right? So now this looks pretty much fine, that I have a location ID. If you want to be more readable, then let's have enter, 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 enter. Now when you work on the different Oracle platforms, right? Oracle SQL assistant, and there are different ways, different GUIs where you will work. At that time you will get some space. Now here I'm not getting much space, right? You see that this cloud integrated, this is taking some space. I'm not able to hide this value, right? So the space which I have is very less, so that's why just not giving the spaces so that it will look fine. Also see that the bracket is missing, so I just added the bracket. Now here everything is looking fine. I don't think that there will be an issue. Let's quickly execute this and see whether the table is getting created or not. And there is some problem. Constraint specification not allowed. Something is wrong. Constraint specification is not allowed. So we have to create table locations, location ID number 4, not null, constraint LOC. Let's put it at enter. The problem why it's coming in this comma was the problem. After country ID char2, the comma was required. Okay, that is what we are missing. Anyways, let's go with the code which is the correct one. So I'll just make this is the code for our reference. So here you can see the location table and it is working fine. So this small comma and all those things will definitely cause problem, so we have to check that. And I'm not sure what this tool is all about. It's not helping me to do that. So there are good comparator tools available which helps me to do good comparison. I'll find something for you guys for practice. Now once this table is done, this looks pretty much fine. We'll create another table which is department table. Now here what we learned, how to create a not null constraint, right? So here my city cannot be null. Same way I have to create the department table, and in the department table also there will be some constraints and some columns will create. So create table departments. We have TPART department underscore ID number 4. Again, I have to give the constraint DPT ID PK primary key. Okay, now here I'm not giving not null, so again that is not compulsory, right? This not null in the primary key is not compulsory, because when you have a primary key will always be not null, right? You cannot put null value in the primary key. So it is just to, sometimes they put not null, sometimes they don't. So actually if you don't put, then also there will not be any issues with that primary key. Then we have DPAR department name, and we have varchar 2 10, or let's make it 30, no problem, comma. Then again, I want my department name cannot be null, so constraint DPT name underscore NN not null. It cannot be null, right? So that is what the constraint I'm putting in. Then we have manager ID number, let's say 6 digits we want. Then location ID number 4. Then we have, now this location ID is coming from the location table, so I want to add a constraint. Now after, when you are putting the foreign key constraint, you require this comma. After that constraint constraint dpt locfk foreign key location ID references locations table location ID in a bracket. Okay, and then bracket close. This is my department table. Hopefully this will run fine, and this is running fine. Perfect. So this table is created. Then what else? We want to create some more tables: jobs, employees, and what else? Job history we will create. So I think 3 more tables we have to create. We'll quickly create it. So we'll have a job table and create table job in bracket job ID varchar 2 10. Then obviously I want to make this as constraint, so constraint job ID underscore PK as primary key. Then comma, we have job title varchar 2 35. And again, this I don't want as the null value, so constraint job title NN not null, comma, we have minimum salary number 6 and max salary number 6, right? This is what my table is. So this is the jobs table. Let's execute. This looks fine as well. Perfect. Then we'll create the main table, which is the employee table. And here we'll see some more cool stuffs, some more new constraint. One more new constraint basically. Create table, employees. Now here I will have employee ID number, let's say 6, comma. I want to add the constraint, so no comma, constraint emp ID underscore PK primary key. Then we have first name where char2, give that as 20, let's say, then comma, we'll have the last name, which is again where char2, let's give this as, let's say, 25. Then again, this what I want is my first name. I'm not giving as a not null constraint, but in the last name, let's say I'm giving not null constraint, right? So we'll have a constraint emp last name and then not null, comma. Then we will have the email, which is where char2 and giving this as 25. And here I'm adding one more constraint, which is not null because it cannot be null. So I'm adding constraint emp email underscore nn not null, comma, I'm adding one more constraint. So it cannot be not null and it should be unique, right? Suppose I have my email id, my email id cannot be same as Rakshit's email id, right? So I want to add one more constraint where constraint name is emp email underscore unique key, right? uk, where I will write unique and it should be email column, right? It should be unique. All right, so it should be, now we have this email, then comma, then let's say maybe we'll have phone number and let's give, because we have to add plus sometimes, right? Plus 91 something something, so we'll go with a varchar 2 and let's give that as 20. It should be 15 maximum, but let's go with 20, no issues, comma, hire underscore date, which is a date field, right? Date type, and my hire date cannot be null also, so constraint emp hire date nn not null. Then we'll have a job id. Now you see, job id is, I think, one of the tables we created job id, right? Somewhere in the jobs table, I think. Yes, this is the job id, but I'm not mentioning any foreign key as of now. I'm just creating job id. We can create the primary foreign key constraint here, but as of now let's not do it, because once I'll create a data model, we'll see that which table has which primary key and so on. So we'll see that. Job id where char2, let's give the size as 10. What was the size there? The size is 10, so it is fine. Then have a constraint that it cannot be null, so constraint emp job underscore and then not null, comma, salary, and we'll have number as my salary 8 comma 2. Now 8 comma 2 means 2 decimal places, then comma, and this salary I want to add a new constraint this time. My salary cannot be 0, it should always be more than 0, right? So I will apply one more new constraint which we are talking about today, is constraint emp salary minimum check constraint. I want to check whether salary is greater than 0 or not. So if you try to insert a record where salary is negative or 0, what will happen? It will not insert the record, right? I'm checking while inserting the record. We'll see that once we'll start inserting the records in the tables. Then commission pct, I'm again giving the number 2 comma 2. Then we'll have a manager id, lot of columns we are creating here, so number 6 comma. Now manager id, what I want is, now it is an interesting column basically. Because manager ID, did we see somewhere created earlier? If you see here, I have manager ID in the department. I have manager ID in only the department. Okay, in the department only I have the manager ID. But in this manager ID, what we will do is I'm creating a constraint emp manager underscore fk foreign key. That means I'm making a foreign key. Now you guys will say, okay, I'm creating a foreign key. That means it will reference to which table? Department table. Because in department table, I have a manager ID, right? But what I am trying to do is now foreign key manager ID references. You will say that let's apply department. No, I will apply employees only. Now you will understand that later on. As of now, just understand that what I am doing is from the employee table only, I am making this manager ID column as a foreign key. Now it is a different concept altogether, right? Normally what we create a foreign key which is actually a primary key from the different table. But here what I did is I am making the column which is present in the employee table as a foreign key in this particular table only. So basically this column is a foreign key of this column. That type of logic we are trying to create here. We'll have a detailed understanding here later on once we'll start writing the queries and all those things. But as of now, just try to understand that what we are doing is this foreign key is actually manager ID, which is referencing the employee table only. That means this manager ID, which is coming from the employee table manager ID, is a primary key. It's like its own foreign key, right? This manager ID is its own foreign key. This type of concept is a bit tricky to understand, so we'll discuss that later on as and when we'll proceed and try to once we'll try to talk about joins and all those things. You'll get the idea. Comma, we have department ID number 4, and I want this to be the constraint emp dpt fk foreign key department ID, and here you can see that I'm referencing it to department table. Normally that is what we do here, like in most of the tables, but this is just an exception. This one is the exception which we will discuss soon. Departments table and bracket close. Now we wrote a lot many columns, and obviously there are chances that we may made some mistake. Let's check that. Let's try to execute this, and it's created. Okay, so there was no issues altogether. It was working fine. Good. So these are the tables we created. Now what we want, I want to do one more thing. So basically I forget to do something and now I want to do. For example, in the department table, what I'm now trying to do is in the department table, okay, I want to add one constraint which I forgot. In the department table, what I want is I want to make this manager ID as a foreign key. I want to make the manager ID as a foreign key, which is referencing to employees table employee ID. Interesting. I want this manager ID to be the foreign key, which is going to reference the employee table employee ID. Why I did not create that at that point in time? Because I did not create the employee table, but now I created the employee table, and what I want is the employee ID of this table. I want to make it as a foreign key in this table to this column. So now table is already created, so I cannot write and create it again. So there is a concept of alter. I want to alter the table. So there are three types of statements: DDL, DML, and DCL. We'll talk about that. But as of now, alter is the command which we are running. Alter table, departments, and what I want is I want to add the constraint dptmgrfk foreign key manager ID references employee ID. Getting it? So now if I will execute this, table altered. So what happened is, in the department table, I have this manager ID, which is a foreign key coming from the employee table, employee ID. Now, why we are doing this, why this type of relation we are actually creating, we'll discuss that once again, as we'll start the query and all those things, then you will get the better understanding. But as of now, when you have the table already created, and then if you want to make some changes on that table, then there is a command called alter command, right? So it is a type of, we'll again discuss DCL, DML, and DDL. So it's a type of, like one of those types. We'll discuss that soon. Now let's create one more table. I think that is the last table which we have to create, is nothing but the job history. Right? I want to create the job history table. Create table, and then we'll try to create a diagram, the model diagram, and then we'll try to understand that how the data model looks like. Job history. Then we have employee ID number 6, comma, before that comma, let's have the constraint. Let's say job history underscore employee underscore NN not null, comma, constraint J hist EMP underscore FK, foreign key, guys, foreign key, and I want this as employee ID references employee table. You see that the complexity is now getting increased, because obviously the number of tables are getting increased, and then a lot of relations I'm making here. So we'll understand that once we'll create the data model. Start date. Let's say I don't want it as null, so constraint J hist start date NN not null. Then we'll have end date, which is also date, constraint J hist and date NN not null, comma, job ID varchar2 10 constraint J hist job NN not null. Also I'm adding the constraint J hist job FK, foreign key job ID references jobs. This jobs was the table, comma, we have department ID number 4 constraint J hist DEPT underscore FK foreign key department ID references departments, and then we'll have one more constraint, jhist emp underscore id start date pk primary key. Now here you see employee id comma start date. I am making primary key based on two columns, right? So the combination of employee id and the start date should be unique, because it's a history table, right? So there are chances that employee id maybe have different entries. So start date and the employee id combination is the primary key, and I can say that it is a composite primary key. So I can have composite primary key, which is nothing but the combination of multiple columns, right? Because it's a history table, so obviously I can have multiple employees with the same id, right? And if I'm making only employee id as a primary key, then it will not insert the same employee id again and again. Then in that case I will go with a composite primary key. If composite primary key is not a solution, then if you guys already know that, we can go with a surrogate key option as well. So I can either go with a composite primary key if composite primary key is not an option. Then in that case, there are chances that I may have an employee with the same start date multiple times as well. In that case, there is a problem. Then in that case, composite primary key will not work. Then I may think of going with a surrogate key as well. So this is one more constraint we had, and then we'll have constraint jhist date interval. Now this is an interesting check constraint I'm applying, guys. My end date should always be greater than start date. If you're trying to insert a record where end date is less than start date, it will throw you an error. So I'm checking that. You see how beautiful this check constraint is. So this is the syntax for the job history. I hope like we wrote a lot of things, so I hope it will work fine. It did not. So we missed some bracket or comma something, right? This is what we were facing earlier as well. Let's check the department ID, and here I have to write comma. Now it should work fine, I guess. Yes, okay. So that is how this table is created as well. Now all the tables are created. What we have to do is now we have to understand like what we did and how it will look like. Okay, we created how many tables? Job history, departments table, employee tables, we have jobs table, we have, then we have location table, then we have countries table, and we have regions table. And we created a lot of constraints as well. Let's try to understand that, and obviously we'll have to create a data model. So let's go and create it. So if you guys remember, the first table which we created was the regions table. So let's go and create a regions table. I'll try my level best to create a good diagram. So this is my regions table. And then here the primary key is our region ID. I'll give it the smaller name, RID. That is my PK. Then we have region name. So region name, R name. That is my second column. Then if you guys remember, the table which we have created is the countries table. So we have the countries table. Ignore my writing because I'm doing it with my finger. And here we have country ID. which is PK. We have country name and we have region ID. Now this region ID is the foreign key, right? So it's a foreign key which is referencing this table. So can I say this is the relation we have? Now in one region I can have multiple countries, very much possible, right? So this is like one to n, one to many relation, right? One to many. After that we created the table which is locations table. So let me create a location table. So let's have the location table. When I have more columns, I'll just write less number of columns. The main columns I'll write. Okay. So in the location table, we had I think 5-6 columns which we added. So location ID was one of them. Location ID, which is my PK, primary key. Then we had street address. I'm not writing it. Postal code. I'm not writing it. City. I'm not writing it. State, province. I'm not writing it. Then we had a country ID. And this country ID is the foreign key, FK. And this FK is coming from here. Beautiful. Now in one country, I can have multiple locations. So this is also one too many. After that, we created the department table. So let's create the department table. I am hoping that all the tables I can create in this screen. So department table. Now, if you guys remember, department table had the department ID. So let's give this as the ID, which is my primary key. Then department name, manager ID, and location ID. So let's go with location ID as of now, which was a foreign key, I guess. Yeah, I think yes, it was a foreign key coming from location. So where is the location table? Here it is. So location ID is actually a foreign key, and this is the relation. And there are chances that I will have one location for multiple employees. So one to many again. I will add one more column here, which is manager ID, because I made that as foreign key as well. So I'll make an employee table, and then the employee ID is the foreign key of manager ID. So that we'll do it later on, but we just create the column. Then we had the jobs table, if you guys remember. So we created the jobs table. In the jobs table, we had the job ID. Let's give JID and make this as PK, primary key. Then we have job title. I'm not writing it because of this less space. Then max salary, min salary, and I think these were the columns. So this is my primary key. Then we have the employee table. We had the employee table. In the employee table, we had the employee ID, which is a primary key. So I have employee ID, which is my PK. Then we had first name, last name, email again had not null constraint, all those things. Then hire date, job, like lot many columns we have created. Then we had the manager ID. If you guys remember, I had the manager ID, MGR ID. It was its own foreign key, if you guys remember it. It was its own foreign key. So I can show by this type of arrow that it is of its own foreign key. So this is my manager ID, and then we had department ID, DID, which is the foreign key coming from department table. And again, one to many, because I can have employee with I can have multiple employees with the same department. So one to many relation coming in here. Then you guys remember that this employee ID is actually a foreign key here, right? This employee ID is a foreign key here. This is my FK. Now, obviously this will be one to many also, because I can have multiple employees as the managers, right? Suppose I am an employee, my manager is Mayur, then Kushal is one of the managers for some other employee. Then Komal will be a manager also. Then let's say Sneha is the manager also. Let's say Priyanka is the manager also. So there are multiple managers which are like employees of the company, but at the same time, I can have multiple employees coming to the department table, one to many relation, because I can have multiple managers. After that, we created the job history table, right? So we had the job history table. So I just created job history. In this job history table, employee ID, if you guys remember, I had the table. So employee ID and start date. The combination of these two were the primary key, right? So these two are my PK, composite primary key. And then we had department ID, DID, which is my FK, foreign key. And one more, I think job ID we made as foreign key as well. So basically, department is coming here and making it as one to many relation. And where is the job table here? So this job is coming here and making one to many relation. Okay. So this is my entire relations which we already created in the SQL code. So the entire thing which we did here, this entire thing which we did, right? These are nothing but this is the table structure. Obviously the drawing is not looking good, but I think you will find in the Oracle website as well. Oracle employee data model. Let's check if I can find that out. Give me a minute. Now I can see that. Let me compare it with what we have created, right? So let's go to the what is my first table? My first table is regions table. The primary key is what? This is my primary key, region ID. If you see here, region ID is the primary key. Perfect. Then we had the countries table where the primary key is country ID and the foreign key is region ID. So you see that countries table is there. Country ID is a primary key, and you see this region ID is going to here. This region ID is going here. So it's a foreign key, and this is like foreign key, and this is my primary key coming like this. For region ID will have the values which is same as this region ID. Then we have the location table where location ID is the primary key and country ID is the foreign key. So location table is the primary key. So all the red ones are my primary keys. And you see this country ID is coming from country ID here, foreign key relation. Then the next table we had department. In department table we had a primary key department ID, manager ID at the end we created as a foreign key coming from employees table, and location ID is also a foreign key. There are two foreign keys, right? Because we altered the table, if you guys remember. So we have one primary key which is department ID, and location ID and manager ID is my foreign key. So here is the table. Department ID is you see foreign primary key. Then manager ID is coming from employee ID. Beautiful. And location ID is coming from location ID. Amazing. Then the next table which we have is jobs table where job ID is the primary key and there is no foreign key as such. So job ID is the primary key and there is no foreign key. Nothing is going from here. Everything is coming here only. Then we have employee table where employee ID is the primary key. We have foreign keys coming from manager ID, department ID, and what else? So I think there are two foreign keys. This is from its own column, employee table only. So department ID is the only primary key. Oh, sorry, foreign key. Let's check that here. So in the employee ID is the table. Job ID is coming as foreign key. I think we did not create that. Job ID. We did not create it, but in this model, I think they have created the job ID also primary key. And actually, job ID is going as a foreign key here, I guess. Let's see that in the which table it is. Jobs. Okay, in the jobs table we did not put anything, right? So that is fine. So there is nothing like, so references I have only two here. So one is department table. So you see that there is a department ID is my foreign key, and you see this manager ID is going back to employee ID. References its own column. So that is how it is coming in. So this is looking fine as well. And then we'll have what else? We'll have the next table is nothing but the job history table, where job history is like employee ID and the start date is my primary key, and the foreign key is department ID, and apart from that job ID is also the foreign key, and employee ID references as well. So basically if you see in the job history table, this employee ID is foreign key. You see here this green line, start date and employee ID combination is my primary key. Then we have the job ID, which is the foreign key, and the department ID, which is the foreign key as well. All right, so this is the data model, and that is what we actually tried to create here as well, almost the same. Okay, so that is how it works. Does that make sense to all of you? Is this clear? The tables which we have created, any doubts here?